Hashim, T10, a very different concept, a very different league. How do you look at, 10 overs?
Yeah, very different indeed. Certainly, it'll be my first time playing a 10-over game. Probably the last time I played it about 20 years, 30 years ago in the backyard with my brother or with my friends. That's when you play 10-over games. But it's a fantastic concept. The cricket landscape has changed over the last 5 to 10 years. And it's probably a matter of time before T10 became as big as it is now.
And Hashim, I have to ask you one question about world cricket and South Africa cricket for sure. They're playing in India right now. They've lost the Test series. They lost the series before that. What do you think is going wrong with the South African cricket at the moment? They haven't recovered from the World Cup debacle.
No, I don't. I think it's a time for rebuilding with the South African team. Over the last couple of years, a few of us who have played for almost 10 years have walked away from international scene. So it was always going to happen that the team will take some time. If you look back, all teams in the world, when they do go through a transition phase, and then we're going through that. I have no doubt that we'll, over some time, given the backing and the confidence in the current players that we have, that the team will find its feet again and again be a really quality team. As it is, they are. I mean, I've played with everybody in that team and I know how good they are. International experience is such a thing that you can only do it you can only get that type of knowing in international cricket after 2 or 3 years, and you've got to afford those players those time to get their feet.
Stephen, thank you for speaking to us. T10, you've coached the IPL teams, Chennai Super Kings, from 20 overs to 10 overs. How do you look at it?
Well, twice the fun, isn't it? With only half the overs, but look, it's a tough competition. Every ball has a massive consequence. Even the T20 game now seems a little bit slow compared to the T10 last year. So, from a coaching point of view, it's very fluid. You've got to pick a different type of player, and there are different tactics. So I really like it. It helps me learn and helps me with the other format. So I really enjoy the competition.
And can you implement any of it in the 2020 format?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but the bottom line is under pressure, the guys are asked to play a very positive brand. There's no time to have the traditional get your eye in or have a couple of looseners. It really is straight from ball one, and some of the performances over the first couple of years have been exhilarating. So what it's doing is showing players and giving them an understanding of how aggressive they can be, and we are seeing that flow through into other forms of the game. The T20 game now is very aggressive, but the longer forms, the one-day game and the Test game, has been played at a quicker rate through formats like this.
Back home, there's a lot of talk about MS Dhoni and when is he retiring, or what is he going to do next. He's not playing right now. He took a sabbatical also of 2 months from cricket. So Have you spoken to MS Dhoni? We know he's going to be captaining Chennai Super Kings next year, but Have you had any talk about it?
No, I want him to play as long as possible, so it's not really a conversation. I don't want to ask when he's going to finish. I want to know how he's going for each season. Your opinion
about people just talking about age all the time, and that age catching up?
Well, you look at the Chennai team that was picked 2 years ago. Everyone said it was too old, and we've won a competition and lost off the last ball. So age to me is about experience and good decision making. So the longer he goes with CSK, the better.
And before I let you go, I have one final question. The ICC recently has changed the whole super over rule, and no boundaries, no sixes to figure out who's going to win a tournament like the World Cup. Are you happy, or it's come too late?
I'm happy, but it was unusual, wasn't it? I think it's probably the ICC's worst nightmare for the absolute showpiece to finish like that, and the review of the rules was quite right, but I think if you looked at it and said, well, this is going to happen, everyone would laugh.
Did you see what Jimmy Neesham wrote about it, the Titanic analogy?
I don't know. It's hard as a New Zealander not to feel a little bit disgruntled by it, but it's changed now for the good. We're in the entertainment business, and just keep going. Super Over was great. Get 4 more people to do it, and that was probably my idea, was to play another one, but have 2 more batters and another bowler, so 3 more batters. So yeah, at least it's changed now.
Sarah, thank you for talking to us. This is an interesting concept of T10. This is the 3rd edition. What do you make of this concept of cricket even getting smaller with 10 overs?
Yeah, it's getting smaller than smaller. I don't know, next year maybe 6 over cricket. So I think it's really exciting league. I think in my personal opinion is all-rounders the much better for this league. Even so, I think Abu Dhabi ground better than Sharjah ground. Everyone know because of sizes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Sharjah is the most nicely ground I have, iconic and very historic and everything. So I think so Abu Dhabi cricket ground. So I played last few years in Abu Dhabi ground. So even batting, bowling, everything very suitable.
But if you talk about the T10 league, do you think it's going to be a nightmare as far as the bowlers are concerned? Because you yourself said that it is going to be, it's good to have all-rounders. So it makes it very, very difficult for the bowlers to do anything in 10 overs.
Yeah, as a all-rounder, I like to play as a batsman. So in this league, because of every bowler is getting hurt. Last year also same problem because of 2 overs maybe 40 runs or 50 runs. So yeah, so I think much better stay as a batsman.
And if I talk about world cricket, ICC has recently changed that rule of boundary super over after the match between England and New Zealand. Do you think that shouldn't have been there in the first place? It all brought down the exciting final that everyone saw between England and New Zealand.
So because I can't say anything because as a player, so I can't say anything. So as a player, when ICC put any rule, so.
But are you happy the rule has now changed? It's not going to be the same rule that you're going to count on boundaries, who wins or who loses.
Yeah. That's I think personally I'm really happy about that because of boundaries and sixes. It's not proper cricket.
Some respect to the bowlers as well.
Yes. So I think so ICC got nice movement last year. So.
And one final question I've been wanting to ask all cricketers I meet is about the Test Championship, and how much do you think that is going to promote Test cricket and make it connect with the masses, with the World Test Championship that will happen in 2021 in England?
Yeah, I think at the moment I'm retired from the Test cricket, so I think.
What's your opinion?
Yeah, but thing is, we have a 50-over World Cup, T20 World Cup, so I think it's really good for the Test players because of so many players refusing Test cricket.
Something to fight for.
Yeah. So I think it's good for the Test players as well. Yeah.
How do you think about this concept of T10 10-over cricket?
Well, to be honest, from my point of view, it's very new. Having only coached T20 in the short form in the past, I'll be a little bit new to this as well. But there were some very, very good players in the draft tonight. I'm sure the 8 teams will be very strong. I think I speak on behalf of all of the coaches that from our point of view. It's about helping those players realise their dreams in the game of cricket and be as good as they possibly can be. And there's some good coaches here, but there's some very good players as well.
And so one question about world cricket. We had the International Cricket Council recently changed the boundary rule, which was a lot talked about when England won the World Cup super over. Why boundaries? Why not wickets? They finally changed this rule. How do you look at it?
That's fair enough. Whatever rules the governing body have for any competition, they're the rules we play to, and the rules we played to in the World Cup, everyone knew what the rules were. It's not it wasn't as if we made up the rules just at the last moment to win. They were the rules that were in place for that competition, as a similar rule to a lot of other competitions. And I mean, look, we're just lucky enough to be on the good end of it.